Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Magical Tea Talks and Coffee 2. My name is Valeri McLaughlin, intuitive heart healer, energy artist, spiritual guide. I help you to connect to your heart center magic so you can live a life full of love, happiness, joy as you connect greater to spirit, living fully guided, enjoying life.
And I'm Cindy Hernandez. I'm a licensed massage therapist, NLP practitioner, and immigrant identity coach. I help people that come from immigrant backgrounds release a lot of barriers that are holding us back from living the life that we want.
Hey, Cindy, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Enjoying the sun and clouds today. It's like been this like beautiful mixture, but it's kind of
Yeah,
nice because it's been a little cooler. It's almost like the perfect everyday weather for me.
it is. It's actually really. I'm actually outside right now, and the weather is just like it's not hot, it's not cold, it's just perfect.
Yeah, which is a perfect segue into what we're talking about: loving and living in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was telling Val about this earlier today, and like how this was something that I was thinking about when I was getting ready, because we often get so like involved in like our day to day that we forget to live
Mhm.
and love and just love everything in our life right now.
Yeah, I like how you said everything, because it's really important to love all parts of you and appreciate the moments, even when they might seem a little bit challenging. The more that you actually give it love, the easier it actually becomes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, One of the biggest things is like it's like getting back into your heart space because you forget like there I was actually doing some like deep work during my yesterday, and one of the things that was coming up was like, where was I disconnected? Like, where did we disconnect? Where do we disconnect in our life that doesn't like allow us to fully live this free life that we want to live? Because that's all we're technically here looking for, is like that freedom. And especially in immigrant households, like all they want is that freedom, right? Like they come to the United States for that freedom, but then they forget, they get so caught up in the life that happens to them rather than happening for you, you
Mm,
know rather than that, it's like you get so caught up in how life is supposed to be.
yeah. I actually, something you just said just actually made me think about a conversation I was having earlier. And it's an immigrant household. And the older person in the house is like 79 and 80. And she's living in somebody else's house, and that person is helping to care for her. Not that she's like can't get up and like cook and things like that, but there's certain things that at this moment in her life she is unable to do. And one of the things that like comes up is like, well, I need a frying pan. And they're like, there's we have one. There's one here. No, I need my own. And it was very interesting because like that just seems to be a pattern that keeps happening. Like there could be 20 mugs in the cabinet, but none of them are hers. So she like needs her own.
Yeah,
Where do you think that comes from?
that's very interesting because I feel like that also has to it has to do like it's showing up in the frying pan, but it really has to do with like her feeling like she needs to find her own stuff. Like she hasn't really, like for me, like this is how I interpret it. Like maybe she hasn't found herself yet, where that she is her own, so that everything doesn't really affect her around her that isn't hers, but it just comes back to you, like filling in that heart space for yourself. That's how I interpret it, at least.
So she doesn't find her own self. She finds her own self by connecting it with an object. And if
Yeah.
she doesn't
Yeah.
have that object, then she's not connected with herself.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting, like metaphor almost to life and how things are.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like it's deep. Like a lot of things are deeper than just what you see in the outer things. Like when you're craving something, it's usually from within. And it just shows up in something else. Like I don't know, like it that story actually connects to something that I want to express in myself, honestly, like where I haven't like found myself. And like I don't know, it resonates a lot, but not really. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe on a different, like it resonates, but it's hitting you in a different spot than maybe it is hitting her. But
Yeah.
it also comes down to being in the moment. Like if she was able to appreciate the fact that she has somebody looking after her and appreciate having a mug to drink her tea or coffee out of, and bring in that love and loving that moment. And
Yeah.
because maybe she's not loving herself and connecting with herself, it's a little bit challenging to loving that moment.
Yeah. That's really, really challenging when you're not in that space to love yourself, to know that nothing any and realistically nothing is ours. Nothing is really ours. We just buy things, but then once we pass, it's not ours again. So it's like nothing is really ours. So just taking back to you, taking back to loving yourself so that you can appreciate and love every single thing enough for that time being that you have it. And like that's temporary, you know, she has that she can share those things temporarily right now, but in the future they might not be there again because she's gonna have her own things, you know, like you're gonna have like things change.
Hmm. Yeah, things change. And then things wear out. Like
Yeah.
your favorite pair of shorts, they wear out. They don't
Yeah.
they don't always last forever. And sometimes we want to hold on to them longer than they are, but appreciate for them what they have. Um, and just loving the fact that you could pass them on so that you can get a new one.
Yeah.
Everything's a metaphor. Um, I can't like I'm trying to like focus and all I can see is this big flower right in there with these beautiful beads that you have on today. I don't think I've ever seen you with them on, but they are like
No,
pulling
I
my
haven't.
attention.
These I actually only use these for my meditations. I never wear them like that. I just use them for my meditations.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And then my shirt, it says you are beautiful. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
no
like talking to you.
different than the flowers because we're all different and we're all still beautiful.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. Yeah, the crystals are just like talking to me, and I'm just like drawn in. It reminds me of my friend who all of a sudden you'll be talking to him and the TV be on, and he'll just be like this into the TV, and you're like, hello. That's what I feel like the crystals are like, just like pulling me into it. And I'm like, I have to talk here.
Yeah. Um, but so yeah, going back to like, you know, living in that moment, living now, like appreciating things now. Like life always is in action, always. There's always something going on. But like using that pause to like appreciate really everything that's going on and appreciate your life. Appreciate the fact that you're alive. Appreciate your legs. Appreciate your feet. Appreciate all the muscles that work within your body. Like truly appreciating all of those things.
Mhm. And living.
Yeah.
And what does
Living.
living mean to you? That
Yeah.
big.
And then going back to that because we forget what living is. Like we think like it's like this routine. And then it's like, okay, is that really living? Is that living for you? Is that living for me? No.
Yeah. You just get caught up in like that mundane thing. Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Uh, yeah, we both listened to Shaman Derek at one point, and one of the things that really stuck out with me is like he's like, change your routine. Like if you go a certain way home every day, you want to change the way you go home. You sleep on the same side of the bed, flip and sleep on the other side of the bed, because just that changing that what you do brings new things in. But it's like the same thing when you're in like that kind of rut, like just do one little thing to change your perspective and get you out of that, just like a here, here, here. And like when you work like as a bartender, bartenders, they go on muscle memory. It's just like automatic. They become a machine. They reach
Yeah.
down, they grab this. They reach down, they grab this, because the vodka's here, the gin's here, the rum's here. If you mix, if the bar back or somebody accidentally puts them up, they're putting the wrong thing in there. And it's just because they're not living. They're becoming like robots.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself becoming like and in that system, it works so that you're most efficient. But in life, do you really want to be a robot? Is that really you appreciating and enjoying life? Don't you want to spice something up? Maybe you do want rum in your Coke or vodka in your Coke or something like that. Not me, I don't drink anymore, but
Yeah.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it actually brings me back, like, okay, so if we're talking about, being like not living in the moment, if we're constantly in this fight and flight mode, so if we're constantly in that, imagine like all of the tension that you're bringing into your body. Like it affects you physically so much, and affects you emotionally, if it affects you in all of the ways that are affecting your cells, affecting your nerves, affecting all of your muscles, because you're in that position for so long, you're in that mindset for so long that you're not changing, and you're just doing things mechanically, that you're constantly stressed, and stress is like your your normal. Stress is technically your normal because you're so used to being that way. So that now when I tell you, go sit down over there and meditate for 10 minutes, you can't do it. You can't do it because you're so overwhelmed with all the stress that's going on, and you're like, no, I need to be stressed, because now your body's craving that stress because you've been doing it for so long. Your body has been stressed for so long. Your mental state has been stressed, and your physical body, like everything, and it really does affect literally everything. So it's like it's going back and actually enjoying life. And i I understand this because I've been in that place where I don't like I hadn't appreciated life. I wasn't there. Like I thought that that was the normal, and it was so ingrained in me that it was hard for me to shift out of it. It was difficult because it was like I didn't know what was new. I didn't know that that wasn't normal. That was normal for me, but it really is that normal for anybody who's enjoying life, who's actually living life? No.
Yeah. And we have this flight or fight, this stress releaser in our body, so that when we're in danger, things that we don't need, like our metabolism, will stop or slow down, so that your energy is in other areas so that you can run or you can lift or whatever it is that you need at that moment.
Yeah.
But our everyday life has so many stressors now that we are constantly in that stress mode. So, when we eat, like if we're working and we're eating, we're in stress and our body's not digesting.
Yeah.
So you could do whatever diet that you want, but you're like eating and you might lose weight here and there, but you're still might be feeling like, oh, because you're still eating while you're in stress. And it's funny because yesterday I was telling you I went golfing with my dad yesterday. And, you know, um, It was the first time in a while, but you have to hit this little ball with this club. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not in that moment to hit it, like the ball will go out anywhere or nowhere, because that's sometimes what happens. Like you just miss it, it goes nowhere. So I was hitting the ball probably the best I've ever hit the ball yesterday. Maybe I just needed to take the 5 years off and get mental clarity. But it was funny because I came up, I had hit this beautiful shot, but it landed and there was a tree. And I couldn't hit the golf ball. Like I was hitting it, but it was like going here and going there. And then once I moved it to the other side of the tree and it was all clearing, there was nothing around, I hit this beautiful shot and landed right up on the green. And I was like, where was that shot? And I was like, oh my God, like that tree really stressed me out. It really got into my head. And it was like that. I said it to my dad and he's like, yeah, he goes, that's true. And I'm like, it's that ha moment. It just took that one thing, that one obstacle to all of a sudden be in my way. And it shifted my whole mind. Like I couldn't hit the ball. And I was like, I can't believe it. And this is like a metaphor in life. Like you can be smoothing going on and then all of a sudden like the road just goes like this. And just that little thing throws you off no matter what it is. And it might even be a joyful occasion, but it might take you out of the groove. And when we're in like that routine, like if I took that second before I hit that, at the time I didn't realize it, but next time, like second and just like pause and take a few deep breaths and focus just on what I was doing, I'm sure my shot would be much better.
Or if you hug the tree.
Or it was one of those evergreen trees too, with the branches, ones that have the branches all the way to the ground, all the way up, like, and it was like, but yeah, like nice tree, but it's like that too. It's every time I would, this course had no water, but every time like you come into the water, and the water could be like right in front of you, and it's just an easy shot right over the water. Or the water might just be off to the side and like it just like it distracts you, and you can allow it to distract you, or you can allow yourself to focus and get back into what you're doing. But that's what happens in life. We allow little things to distract us along the way instead of being in the moment. And once I got back to the moment, I hit the shot. I was like, yes, I love it. This is great.
Yeah. It actually reminds me of like I work in brigantine, so most of the time, like in the summertime, the bridge goes up like on my way to work. So usually that can really like irritate somebody. Like, what the fuck? I'm already late and the bridge is up. But like for me, I don't like going into my workspace stressed. So I'm just like, all right, let's fucking blast music and jam out because I'm not gonna let this like affect me. Like I'm gonna arrive when I arrive.
Yeah.
And I don't let it like affect me anymore. Like I don't know. I don't like to get into my office in that mood. Like, oh my God, fucking bridge came up. Yeah.
I totally
And silly
understand.
stuff. It happens. Shit, the
I
bridge goes up all the time.
all the time. Um, Back when I was younger, we didn't have that route to the tunnel, so there was just that right to get into Brigantine and to the casinos. And I worked at Harris, and um, I remember like as a young, I was like, oh my God, like I gotta go. And then the bridge would go up. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta be late. And I would just like be, and then it's like, okay, trying to race it and like cut somebody off so you could get to the line. And I'm like, it got to the point, even then, it was just like, whatever, it's just gonna
Yeah.
be what it is, because it was so stressful. And then
Yeah.
I was getting to a job at that point where I was like driving other people's cars, and I'm like, I can't be in like that stress mode. And that was like before I even got this, but like it's just a natural thing that some of us have. Like we naturally realize that that's not our state that we want to be in every day. We might not understand certain things, like taking that pause, but we automatically do them. And when you become aware, you can actually do it more. I don't get stressed. The bridge is up, I put it in park, I put my feet up, and I just sit there
Mm.
and or
Yeah.
turn the music on and whatever it is that I'm doing. But it's like, okay, whatever. I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny because when you do that, you realize you're almost always on time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really not that long.
No. Mm-mm. And I did realize, like, when I stopped really like stressing when I drive, or like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. I'm like, my mindset was like, "Oh, I'm just going to enjoy this music, this ride in, and I'm going to be right on time. Divine timing's going to get me there perfectly."
Yeah.
And it makes your life so much different.
Yeah, it does. It allows you to breathe. Cause just imagine, like I just think about like, and I'm just like tensed. Like no, I don't want to be like that. Like I want to be able to breathe my normal breaths.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just enjoy the moment, whatever that is, and love that moment. You can love the moment of the bridge. It's like, oh, it gives me an extra minute to listen to my favorite song, or
Yeah.
listen to my favorite song, or whatever. You love that moment. And I was saying to you before that I pulled the chariot card in my group today, and I was talking about it, and I was talking about living and loving and being in the moment. And um, I've had the honor and privilege to learn a lot of this from my friend Jen, who our friend Jen. And through her last few years of medical challenges, like, she has really showed me that you can love and enjoy life no matter what you're going through, and still do what you want. And having that mentality that she has, so many different doors have opened up for her to experience trainings and things that she's wanted to do,
Yeah.
and still go through all her treatment surgeries and everything that she's had to do. And just watching her go through this has really just taught me to appreciate and love every moment, and trust that, like, opportunities are going to open up for you. When you're in that moment, you actually allow the doors to open.
Yeah. That is so true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about like really, because you're also in that vibration of just loving everything. And when you're in that vibration, it's like all the things are possible.
Hmm.
All of the things.
Yeah. I had the question asked to me yesterday, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing great. I've been having fun. And then the next question, well, how's your business? I said, it's been slow, but it's going to change. And they're like, yeah, I kind of feel the energy. It's been kind of slow a little bit here. And I'm like, yeah, I said, but you know what? Having fun and being in the moment allows you to line up with what you're creating. So I know everything's going to change, and I'm just going to have fun and allow it to happen.
You know what's funny? It's like it's not really funny, but like um when I look back to like last year and I look back at my business and how like in the summertime, yeah, it was always busy, but like during the year it wasn't that busy, but when I allowed myself to enjoy it, I didn't have to stress about money, and it just like whatever needed to be paid off was paid off. And it like it was like this flow of just everything, like I didn't need to stress about anything when I enjoyed like every moment, like enjoying the fact that I get to stay home with my kids an extra day or the whole week, like just enjoying that moment. It allowed me to have different opportunities, and I wasn't in that stress mode. I wasn't in that mode of like, fuck, where is the next income going to come in? What do I have to do? Who do I need to hire for this or that? And it was just allowing the things to come through, and it would just flow so smoothly.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm going to do the next 4 days. Cutting off my phone, no social media, and going off the grid and going out into Mother Nature and camping, and just know that what I'm doing now is helping me to create things moving forward, and just to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
And we
have to
all
worry
need it.
about this and like
Hmm.
posting and my, it's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
taking that time off for you is so important.
Yeah. And we all need it, especially the people that are constantly working, constantly. Like, just take that time off for yourself.
Yeah. Me, I'm in my group almost every single day. If I'm not doing a live, I'm at least posting in my group and keeping that going. And I absolutely love it. I look forward to it when I don't do it. So this is going to be a little interesting because I do really love and do it, but I also know that taking time for myself is important. And I've done that too, where I've just kind of been like off the grid, need some of me time. But it's nice to change your routine up.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really is. And connecting with Mother Nature for me is big. And coming after this full moon, going in September energy. September is going to be a very interesting month. So
Yeah.
you're gonna they're gonna learn a little bit more about that on Thursday, right? With your special
Yeah.
host. We're not gonna give it away, but you have to tune in and special co-host and learn more about what the universal energy is coming in for September.
Yeah. Yeah. We have good stuff.
So I challenge you today to live and be in the moment. Do something that makes you happy. And when something doesn't make you happy, pause and just enjoy it anyway.
Yeah. Do something different, even though it's scary, even though it's out of your normal.
Step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like the little things. People are like, oh, step out of my comfort zone. I got to go on the Facebook Live. But sometimes it's just like, allow yourself to walk down the street with your headphones on and sing the song.
Brush
And
your teeth with the other hand.
yeah, brush your teeth with your left hand. I did that for months straight because I knew I was having surgery on my right arm and I knew I wouldn't be able to do it. So for like the months leading up to it, like I taught myself like how to write and brush my teeth and do other things that don't come natural to that hand. Just so when it happened, I would be more comfortable and not getting frustrated that I could use my other hand.
Yeah.
So you never know when you might actually have to use your opposite hand. So practice
Gotta
it.
appreciate that hand.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I will see you next week. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at intuitivehearthealer.com. Find me on Facebook at Intuitive Heart Healer Facebook group and on Instagram at Intuitive Heart Healer.
And you can find me at Cinderella Spa and cinderellaspa.com to book any appointments. I'm doing things a little bit different, so you have to actually like schedule a clarity call to figure out what's going on. Um, and then, yeah, so just follow me.
All right, everybody, have a great day.